especially compared to other option we've tried. Especially compared to other option we've tried.
Yeah, we won't
Especially
name
compared to other
roll
option
20.
we've tried. Yeah, roll 20.
Well, I
Yeah,
just
roll
did.
20.
Give me,
Yeah, roll 20.
I'll be
Yeah,
one
roll
second. I'm trying to
20.
figure out why I'm getting like audio reverb from everybody.
Oh, that's a new one. Usually you're the demon, not us.
Okay, it seems like it's working now.
Weird.
Yeah, it was weird. For some reason, I was getting like the audio through my headset and also through OBS, and then it was reverbing back, so I was getting like everybody echoing like 4 or 5 times.
Oof.
That's a sanity roll.
Yeah.
I would not like to hear myself 4 times.
Yeah, especially because everything was on like a half-second delay, so it was like.
Oh god, that's the worst.
Mm.
It'll shut your brain right off.
Right. But it seems to be working now. So, all right. So here we go. We are up to, what are we up to? Session 35, I think?
Yes.
Perfect. Session 35 of Mask and Nyarlathotep. Last time, you guys had a little bit of a breather. I met a couple of new investigators, one of whom knows Dr. Carter, one of whom was sent by Ramsey.
New Dr. Carter.
New
I
Dr.
suppose he's still alive,
Yeah,
just not functional.
right.
Must be a spell for that.
Made some plans, realizing that Dr. Carter was the one who knew most of your magical stuff, including how to actually do the ritual for the light of or the eye of light and darkness. So Evelyn spent some time with his notes and the books to kind of figure out how to do it. She's pretty sure that she's got it down. Pretty sure. You also met an acquaintance of Dr. Carter's at the Egyptian Museum. A doctor there.
Yeah, it was kind of. It was very. I mean, all of his underlings were like spying on us and looking at us suspiciously.
Yes.
Creepy. He was creepy.
Possibly creepy, but he did offer you assistance with
Yes.
him and what appears to be a group of people that are in some fashion working against the Dark Brotherhood.
All the best help we got was creepy.
Of course.
Yep.
The Egyptian Museum does have a very healthy occult section, which is under lock and key and magical protection. But he did he pointed you in a couple of directions. Like, he knows the Brotherhood is up to something, which you've also heard from the merchant, Faraz. He's not exactly sure what they're up to, but he does know that they're responsible for stealing a mummy from one of the expeditions out in the desert. And he also pointed you towards there is a member of the expedition from whom the mummy was stolen, who had been let go, had been fired, perhaps named Jan Wilhelm. And perhaps he might be an avenue to find out what exactly is going on, what they might want with the mummy, who the mummy was, that sort of thing. Or, of course, the expedition itself is still out in the desert if you want to talk to them directly. So it's a matter of deciding whether you want to look into the Brotherhood or whether you want to try to find a place to perform this ritual and actually do so. But we'll kind of pick up with you guys.
The blood of an innocent.
The blood of an innocent.
Honestly, the blood of the innocent is the easy part. The part that is boggling me.
That is terrifying sentence.
It doesn't need much. We won't hurt someone by taking that much blood.
No, we don't need much of it, which is good.
I can bribe someone for that much blood. The point is that ritual, from what I've read, it takes a huge toll on the person performing it. You need to be a bunch of people performing it.
Ideally.
It's akin to like starting an anti-cult. We need like 20 people for this to be like perfectly safe. And that
So I'll
sounds
call
like
the cult.
the reverse cult, nega cult. I don't know, but like
Well, I'll
assembling
cult
20
them.
people on top of a pyramid to do a ritual sounds daunting.
I wonder if Dr. Kafur's allies would be willing to help.
Well, I asked him last time. He said he'd be willing to assist. I assume it implies with a bunch of his assistant recherche, like helper people.
Assistants, they do seem rather protective of him,
Not quite.
which is good in theory.
Because we got like how imminent in because we have a timetable for the whole of it, from what I understand. But how imminent are their action in Cairo?
I don't know that anything is directly imminent
That's a
here
fairly
in
good
Cairo.
question, Master.
Yeah. Nothing we've discovered, as you say, Miles, implies that they're gonna act like right now. But if we start making the ritual, we'll get their attention and they'll probably try to stop it. So I think we should think about putting a wrench in their plan before we try to do the ritual. Or do we want to, because they know we're here. They'll probably know we're here. I don't think we have the advantage of discretion right now. If we try to do the ritual before empowering them, we're gonna get the full force of whatever they can deploy.
Most definitely, we must hamper them first. I think so too.
I would prefer to have this ritual done as soon as possible
Yes, I agree.
so that we can move on to the next city where it needs to be done. Traveling takes an inordinate amount of time. We have
Yes,
no
but
idea what's going to be waiting for us in Kenya.
in the best of world, we need to stop them and perform the ritual in each town.
Yes, well, performing the ritual will do for now. Stopping will probably happen during the ritual, because I imagine they will attack whoever's doing it. So we need to have... Would we need to have some sort of bodyguards, Mr. Franklin?
It would make sense that those who aren't involved in the ritual would be on bodyguard duty.
But
We
we
need
need as many...
as much people as we can on the ritual, and possibly a few more to help guard it, so we're not interrupted.
Precisely.
The problem with that potentially is that, let's say, for argument's sake, we go out, we hire some unscrupulous, ask no questions types to guard our backs. We are potentially putting a whole bunch of innocent people, for lack of a better term, in harm's way.
If they're taking money from us to act as bodyguards, they're not that innocent. And if we don't
That
do it, then everyone will be harmed, regardless, by something far worse than us.
Well, right now
Or
I
maybe
see
I need some coffee.
you also need some coffee.
That seems reasonable.
I see three things to check up on. We do need to get a bit more acquainted with the collection of books that you have brought forward, and the new one that the people at the the museum have to help us deal with that and acquire the knowledge necessary for more than one of us to be able to perform that ritual. I think you have the hang of it, Mrs.
Miss Collins.
Miss. Sorry.
I think I do. Of course, I'm only going to have one chance to actually cast it, so I can't really do a practice
Not really.
before. At minimum, I would say that we need 8 people to cast it. Plus
Sounds
the
like
blood of an innocent. Who?
sounds like the bare minimum 8. I would go higher if we can.
Yes, absolutely. But bare minimum.
Yes.
We cannot proceed until we have at least 8 people. Pardon me.
We can try
I
to push with the professor of the museum to help us find those people.
We can. We should ask
He
him how
was kind
many.
of ladies first.
Oh no, he was kind of all right. I agree. He was kind of.
Kind of.
He was kind of flexible on ethics, so I don't think I, I I think he will be down to help us get people. I just don't know if those people know what they're gonna sign in for.
I mean, he's gonna be assistance. He's shady enough for us to not, let's say, put all our confidence in him, but it's an ally.
An ally or a not yet enemy?
I would
I
put him
wouldn't.
closer to ally. He seems opposed to the bloody tongue.
To the destruction of the world? Yeah.
That too.
I think. I think at worst he could become a rival, but not an enemy directly. I make a distinction because I don't think he's gonna try to assassinate me.
Well, that's good news. I hope he doesn't try to assassinate us too.
Sorry, who
I
are we
mean,
talking about again?
the museum director.
Dr. Kafour.
He
The
seems to
guy
have flex.
that's willing to sacrifice people to have some horrors.
I mean, in his defense, he said he was willing to sacrifice someone to save from an horror, not unleash an horror on someone.
Yes, he's not instigating, he's just redirecting.
He might be a doctor in semantics for all I care.
That does
Well,
not
that
make
could
him a
be
good
too.
person, but that does not make him an enemy.
No, but be wary.
Oh yeah, I don't want to be the one that gets shoved in the way if he needs to save himself from an horror.
we have to take that chance. I'm totally down with that idea. It's just let's not fool ourselves.
So right now, I say we have 3 options. We either take a stop, either way a bit, opens the book, try to get a good understanding, take what we can from the museum for the rest of the operation, or we start by trying to investigate the cult. The other option is to go cast the eye, but I would hit the book first, so we have more than one person that knows how. So if the ritual is interrupted, we have someone to take over.
Hopefully that will work. I
It's
haven't
better
really.
than just not having an option, but it might
Yes,
just blow up in our face.
it may not work if it's interrupted and someone else takes over mid ritual. But better that we have the option of trying than not. Pardon me.
I have already a bit of book learning on the subject, but not as extensive of what you've collected so far.
Well,
I would add to that sentence, unfortunately. I don't know exactly where to put it in a sentence. The knowledge you have unfortunately acquired, or the fact that I unfortunately knows a bit about this stuff from before.
either one seems appropriate.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Do I think some of you needed some rest?
Mm.
So my option right now is, before we go gallivanting to try to find what the cult is about, we take a bit of that rest for me to try to understand those books and see what the museum can help us with. So those who needs to rest takes that time to do so. Because you can see something at any time with those cults that will make you question reality. So if you're not at full strength, that will not end well.
You say that with such debonair like sentence thrown that way.
I'm trying to be realistic, but
Oh no, I mean it's just uh yeah. I studied theology. I dropped out because I'm ashamed for my family, and now I'm trying to save the world. It's
yeah,
kind of it's kind of something, you know.
I used to have a simpler life in which I knew some of your friends, but in at some point, one of them had to save me from everything we're fighting right now.
I think we all used to have much simpler lives. But yes, sleep and another trip to the library, or the
And
museum, rather.
and coffee.
And coffee. Ideally after sleep instead of before. It's already terribly warm, and the heat seems to linger inside.
Yeah, but it's a dry heat.
It's a very dry heat.
So,
So we
um,
get. Is everybody comfortable with that plan?
Sorry, the plan
I
is what?
mean,
Go back to the
I'm
museum?
not gonna be that helpful. Yeah, I'm not that helpful with the books, but I can bring coffee again, I think.
I mean, what's you? I hadn't took time to ask. But Miles, you said you were brought on because you have a tactical knowledge and can uh, help with keeping us alive.
I was brought because I'm pretty good with a gun and because I'm a decent hunter.
Oh, very good to have you around then. Just to have an idea of what kind of a mission we are on and what resource we have. And you said you studied theology.
Well, that was in a past life. I mean, I kind of dropped out.
You still mentioned that you are better with people.
I'm known to be charming, and somehow I manage around a hand of cards.
Good. And Miss Collins, you
Definitely
were
the skill you need at the end of the world.
I mean, if it's what's gonna open the door to the places we need to get in, I'd take it on a hand of guard. And not having anyone that knows how to talk to people would make a group such as this very handicapped. Couldn't
Oh,
imagine this
very.
being this working without someone like that. And Miss Collins, you were more leaning on the um occult part of the trade, if I understand
Yes,
well.
quite.
Okay, so I know what to put on your plate. Not ask you to be the one carrying the gun, for example.
No, I'm usually the getaway driver in those situations.
Oh, good to know. A good driver.
Well, better than some.
I mean, you're probably better than me for the for that part.
Me too. I mean, I cannot fathom those things.
Well,
You're
when you have
as better at you're as better at driving a car that this man is more pretty than I am.
when you
Don't
have
sell yourself short. You're not ugly, you're just full of
Beaten up,
characteristics.
a bit beaten up, but nothing to worry about.
Full of character.
hmm,
Yes, yes, I've heard that one before. But let's stick to our strength.
All right. So what are you guys up to?
If everybody's agreed, I think we were planning to try to take the rest of the day to rest and try to get on with the book. So we're more to know the ritual of the eye. Was that okay with everyone?
yep.
Yeah.
And tomorrow we can try to learn a bit more about the books we don't have access to, that we now have access to with the museum.
And to see exactly how many people he has available, be able to help. That would also be a good idea, I think.
Yes, and
That way
when
we
every
know how many we have to hire.
yeah, and when we are we can use that as a bit of a learning and rest uh, space, and then we can try to hunt down the cult in the city.
So, what is our plan when we find them?
I mean, we need to know what they're planning to do. I think we don't want to disrupt them, but disrupt their plan. They have stolen a mummy. They are planning to do some kind of ritual with it, probably.
We've only heard of a few rituals that require a dead body, I think.
That reminds me of our bar mitzvah.
It required a dead body? Seems a bit more exciting than the ones I've heard of.
You would like to know, would you?
Uh, maybe. I wouldn't object to knowing. Terribly curious that way.
That's what got us here, I suppose.
So I'll let you academics works on the academic side of things. I'm just gonna wander around in the hotel to be sure that we're not followed by somebody who wants more than our money.
Toss out any animals you see. They're spies. Cats, rats,
Yes, of
anything.
course.
Thank you. Greatly appreciated.
Okay.
All right, so you guys are going back to the hotel and resting up for the day.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna wander around the hotel just to be sure that, I mean, we're kind of the only patrons, so everybody, I'm gonna kind of follow ish or just spot everybody who's trying to move around the rooms that's not staff of the hotel or something.
I've been warned about the kid in the hotel. You might want to keep an eye on them.
Oh, yes, they're wicked little thieves. They're sneaking in through secret doors in our closets.
Reminds me of our bar mitzvah.
That bar mitzvah must have been something.
So much more interesting than the ones I've heard about.
Perfect. I'll get Gary can give me a spot hidden roll.
Oh, those are nice shoes.
Those are really nice shoes. Those are bar mitzvah shoes. Those are.
They're mine!
Right. Yeah, you don't notice anybody out of the ordinary. Like, it doesn't seem like it's a terribly busy hotel, and most of the housework is done by the proprietor, and probably the kids that kind of hang around. It seems like they've got a little, kind of like business venture going where the kids clean the rooms and that sort of thing.
Sell
Generally, keep up,
whatever they
steal
find.
steal what happens to be left by people that have checked out. That sort of thing.
Yeah, but I'm probably getting bored really soon, so I say I'm gonna try to spot some stuff and just like doze off or something.
All right, perfect. And the rest of you are just kind of hanging out in the hotel.
Trying to rest.
Yep. Can I? Can I? Well, we'll see if Miss Collins let me. But we're trying to rest. Can I try to be of psychological assistance to Miss Collins and Miles?
If you have psychoanalysis, you can give it a try.
I'm trying to do it like discreetly.
Discreet, yeah, discreetly won't work at all. They have to be willing to get help.
Okay. Because I've asked them before. I'm probably gonna.
Discreetly Freudian. Talk to me about your mom.
Mhm.
Discreetly.
No, but just steer the conversation to try to let them air out those moments. Uh, but I'll ask again then. While while we while we take a moment to uh prepare for all that's coming, would you be comfortable to talk a bit about what happened in that parent? Maybe I could help you process everything that went there.
What happened in the pyramid?
Where two other of your friends went insane.
Yes, well, that really tells you almost everything you need to know about what happened. We saw something terrible, and it drove two of them mad.
What I fear is that it didn't leave you unscathed.
That's true of anything in life, isn't it?
Yeah, but physical wounds are attended to. Those should be too. Can just wait for it to heal. It's easier to get out of the water with somebody helping you. than to do it on your own.
Yes, well, I'm really not sure what to say.
Well, would you be willing to have a chat about all of this so I can try to help you?
I can try to explain to you what happened, but it will sound impossible and ridiculous and probably nonsensical at times.
Yes, I understand that. Doesn't make what you felt at that point less important. We are taking a path that will make you revisit those moments. If we have not dealt with them, I think they will come back to haunt you, in addition to whatever else we have to deal with.
The problem is that telling you will likely put you in more danger than we already are. Everyone else that I've been close to on this expedition has met with a very unfortunate fate.
Yes, I understand that. I I already had my exposure to all this before, and Elias was kind enough to help me out of it, so
I'm
that it didn't
curious.
end up on the wrong side of the story. One way or another, you'll probably have to cope with all this for us to have any chance of success. I'd rather you talk to me who has been exposed to all this and most apparently has no hope of ever not being involved with all of this madness than with someone from outside pulling him in.
Calling it
I
all
have,
of this madness is certainly appropriate.
yeah. From what I've seen, it's the only way to describe that.
Gary just knocked at the door of the room. May I
Yes,
enter, please? I
yes.
enter with a pot of coffee and mugs. Hey, books, am I right? And just get out of the room.
Right.
I have I don't have a hope of not knowing about all this Miss Collins anymore. Seen my fair share. I'm willing to carry a part of that burden for you. Please let me.
That's very kind of you.
People who had no right to be kind to me were in the past. Feel I own the word a bit. And I think you
And
deserve it.
we'll see what you think after I've told you everything.
Oh, I'm gonna be horrified.
Oh, yes, yes, you are. Absolutely. Chris, over the next, I don't know, 2 hours, Evelyn is going to tell him everything. Stuff she hasn't told the rest of the group. She'll tell him about, notably, things that she hasn't told other people. Talking to her brother through the Ouija board. What happened on the ship. What else was it she was keeping from people? The thing that
The
sat in the
blackout.
corner.
The blackout.
Listen, the blackout, yeah. The thing that sat in the corner and just kind of sat there, and we all felt perfectly safe with it sitting there. The painting, hearing her brother's voice then and agreeing so that she could get back to the present. Creepy mama in the attic. Everything that
That should
happened
be
with Bill.
that should be a metal album title. Creepy Mama in the Attic.
Yeah, all of it.
Perfect. So yeah, you can get him up to speed easily. It's it's one thing to experience it. It's another thing to have somebody relate it to you. It's some distance removed, so it's still horrifying, but not as bad as it could be if you experienced it yourself.
I mean, obviously she lived through it, so
Yep, and she took all the sanity loss.
yeah. And she'll go through, like, her friendship with Luther and the fact that he ended up going home. What happened to Salvatore, with Volador going home, or sorry, what happened with Volador, what happened with Bill, Salvatore going home, yeah, everybody and everything.
Perfect.
That will be my attempt at helping with psychoanalysis afterward.
All right. Yeah. For both Miles and Evelyn, it's going to take like significant actual psychotherapy, but this will count as a day towards their getting better.
Mm-hmm.
29 more to go.
Yay!
Well, actually, 28 for Miles since he actually spoke to a professional.
Well, Eugene is trained.
You can give me a psychoanalysis roll. Oh, look at that. An extreme success.
Ooh.
Progress is made. Slowly. Very slowly.
Yeah. I just know that reading books can give you insanity and confronting the cultists can give you insanity. So if we do any of those things, you might just relapse.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Evelyn's gonna go. She'll probably be the next one down.
All right. Other than that, the afternoon or evening and night passes quietly. It's staying up to the wee hours. It is enough time that anybody who wants to can go over the scrolls and the translation to get the basics of the ritual. When it comes time to actually cast it is when you make the roll to see whether you absorbed it or not, but you can definitely go through the scroll and the translation because you don't have the actual scroll to get the gist of how to perform the ritual.
Can I make myself a
Um,
cue card in my book?
Okay.
Like just step 1, step 2, step 3.
Evelyn's kind of gonna pace it out in the room like a practice run.
I'm
Kind of
gonna
like
try to build
rehearsing for table tipping or something.
I'm gonna try to build a simple inventory of our resources and what do we have, and if we might need something else going forward.
Well, we know we need the blood of an innocent.
That's gonna
Uh,
be on the list.
We'll probably need people with guns. Other than that, I'm not entirely sure.
you guys you've got a couple of guns amongst you. You've got a couple of rifles and some pistols. You've got a collection of occult or Cthulhu Mythos tomes in a variety of languages. You have a really weird mask with like 4 different faces on it. Looks to be of African origin. You've got a circlet. You've got a metal rod that seems to be warm to the touch.
We should take these as they're kind of digging through the chests that we've been hauling all over. We should take these to the museum and see if Dr. Kafur can tell us anything useful about them. Because surely these are used for something. We just don't really know what.
Well, Chris, there was one with hieroglyph on it.
Yep.
Because I speak hieroglyphic, so if we lay that all out, maybe this one I can get a glimpse on it.
You can give me a Cthulhu Mythos roll.
Oh no.
But otherwise, I agree, Miss Collins. We should go to the museum with those. Not enough.
I mean, even if they aren't going to be useful for us, perhaps they are something that should be behind lock and key in a much safer place than we will ever be able to take them.
But since you do understand Egyptian hieroglyphics, the wooden scepter, the hieroglyphs that are on it are basically dedicated to one of the Egyptian gods, the Western and Southern god, basically the supreme god of that mythology, the equivalent of like Zeus or Jupiter or whatever, like the head deity of this southwestern African mythology named Niambe.
Nihon Bay.
Yeah. The other items, though, you definitely know that the mask, the 4 faces that are on the mask, represent 4 different entities.
Okay.
And I think
But nothing I can recognize.
no, but I think they've already identified them as Nodins, Azathoth, Shub-Niggurath, and Yog-Sothoth.
Yes, and I'll update him on what we know about the things that we have. Like as we're kind of taking them out and laying them out around the room. Because I don't know that we've ever really gone through the stuff with Miles either.
I don't think so. And most of the stuff, you have no idea what it does.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, we know who these deities are. We have no idea what it's used for. And she's hoping that Dr. Kafur will be able to shed some light on that. Because Dr. Carter thought that the deity provides protection from the night gaunts, but we weren't entirely sure. We had that. We had the bandanas were a sign of rank. The headband protects from night gaunts. the four faces of the mask were the four deities, and one of those deities was also on the headband.
Yep. And that's
I
that is
think it was
actually
Nodden's.
it is Nodden's.
Yeah. The copper bowl was also the symbol. Also had the symbol for Nodden's on it, but we're not really sure what the copper bowl is for.
Hmm.
And I'm sure we have other stuff that I don't remember, like other
Oh,
items.
yeah, the six knife that Dr. Carter made to kill entity from beyond
Yep.
that are in this stuff.
Yeah, and it seems to me I think you also have a powder that makes invisible things visible.
That could be practical. Because this powder implies that some things are invisible.
Yes.
Yeah, that would have been involved in Evelyn's recounting.
Oh yeah, and that's the episode that I personally, as a player, was not there.
Oh, the invisible fog monster that was trying to kill people.
Oh yeah, they hit it with their car, I think.
Well, they had a street lamp with their car.
There was a car accident involved with that thing.
Little bit. Little bit. It's because Evelyn wasn't the one driving.
Right. So yeah, you lay everything out and you realize that you're still not entirely sure what any of this stuff does, but maybe
Yeah.
Dr. Kafour will know.
Here's hoping.
Nothing I can identify here.
Oh.
This headband looks vaguely familiar, but I don't know.
But when you get up in the morning, the kind of the newspaper is waiting for you with breakfast, and kind of like the front page news. It's there's an article about a tragedy at the Mosque of Ibn Talan.
Oh no.
5 of Ibn Talan's most respected scholars have been confirmed dead after last night's collapse of the ceiling in their study room. The cause of the tragic deaths is being investigated. Still missing but presumed dead is Nessim FT, who is the institution's oldest associate, and the Nazir, kind of the one of the heads of the mosque, Ahmed Al Dahabi, survived but was taken to the hospital in a state of severe shock. The collapse occurred in a building adjacent to the mosque itself, so the historic structure is thankfully undamaged.
Sorry, this is Ibn Tulun.
Yes, this is the Mosque of Ibn Tulun.
So the roof collapsed?
Yes, the collapse of the ceiling in the study room.
Isn't it the place where you parked your friends?
Or is it the other mosque where the pottery salesman got to refuge after he told you about
Nope,
the pyramid?
the Mosque of Ibn Tulun is the mental hospital.
It's also where the Dr. Kafour thought the cult was going to be doing something.
Dr. Kavor and the merchant that you spoke to when you first arrived, Nazar, or Farnaz.
So hopefully this was all they had planned.
Let's make sure that everyone is fine.
Yes, we need to make sure that Dr. Carter
And maybe we can
Just-
try to investigate what happened at the same
Jerome
time.
are okay. So, sounds like we'll be doing a bit of a trip this morning.
I mean, let's go.
I agree. Don't think we should delay that visit.
All right. So you guys have a quick breakfast. I put the newspaper article under the discovered handouts in Foundry under Egypt. You should be able to see it if you need reference any names or anything.
What were the knives made to kill?
The knives are made to be able to affect creature of the myth as a general thing.
Okay.
And they help with the convocation of hunting horrors, but that's a side effect that was not intended.
So they help with summoning hunting horrors.
Summoning
Sorry, Chris,
and
where's
grinding.
the handout?
Somebody in, but that's not hunting horror. There was another one, I think. I don't
Yeah.
remember which one it is.
Yeah, under the journal tab in Foundry should be one that says discovered handouts and then Egypt.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking in
need to-
Discord for a channel. Thanks.
Yeah.
I need to go and get the fan for the kitchen. It's crazy hot in here.
But I will throw it up into the Egypt channel.
They might have tried to kidnap this Nesimifti.
Chris, I don't seem to have access to the handouts. It's just written Egypt 4 and I cannot open it or nothing.
You cannot click on the Egypt 4.
I can, but it's not opening.
Okay, probably a authorization kind of thing.
Have all players sent to owner.
No, it's okay. I mean, it was just...
Yeah, I posted it into the Discord there as well, so. Right.
Chris, is Nessim the gentleman that came to visit me that I had my chat with?
Yes.
I don't know about this, but was it was he the one kidnapped? That isn't accounted for.
He is missing and presumed dead.
Okay, the one that went to see Miles.
Yeah.
I don't know about this, but I just want to make sure I understand.
So I'm curious if he's missing. Why is he presumed dead? They haven't they haven't cleared the rubble yet.
Exactly. So they're not expecting to find him alive, but they don't have a body.
Because it's a poor country, then assume the worst.
And the gentleman that was taken to the hospital, the Nazir, is basically the kind of like the ranking religious person at the mosque. Right. So whereabouts are you guys off to?
I think it's off to the mosque.
Yep.
I want to take a few days to heal and read books, but it's not yet time for a montage.
So the mosque. So the Mosque of Ibn Talun, it is the oldest intact mosque in Cairo. Not far past it, only about like half a mile or so south of it, is where the City of the Dead begins. It's not terribly ornate, but it does follow the traditional layout of a mosque that imitates the courtyard of Muhammad's house, where he first taught. It used to be a walled court open to the sky, but like some of the walls have fallen and stuff like that. You guys have been here before though, so you recognize it. Um, it seems like most of the damage was to kind of like a secondary building, not the main mosque complex itself. But there are a number of Egyptian police officers here.
Is it possible to? Is there somebody who speaks the language?
I can translate.
So
We may be able to find someone to ask because we have a friend that are admitted here to be able to check on them.
yeah, it's basically to be not to alienate ourselves the Egyptian police at the moment.
Yes. Do you want me to translate for you while you talk to them?
I'm gonna try to talk to an acolyte or something
Okay.
if I can find somebody. I don't want to disturb
Police
the
work.
emergency respondents.
Yes. Let's try to find someone that looks important enough, but not that important that we would be bothering him.
All right.
The sweet spot of the chain of command.
Yeah, a little bit of like looking around and asking around. You can get directed to somebody fairly easy. And when you're asking about your friends, like the mosque itself is safe. You know, the damage did not seem to affect the mosque at all. The patients are still okay. They did have to move some of them just in case the structural collapse like continued underground. So they did have to move some of them for safety's sake, but all of their patients are accounted for and everybody is safe.
I'm trying to just like while chit chatting, asking if they know where did the incident originated from.
Um, the, I mean, they'll indicate kind of the outbuilding. Say the uh, the ceiling to the study room collapsed. Several people unfortunately were in the room at the time. So far, they've dug 4 bodies out. There's a fifth one that they're still searching for. The Nazir was taken to the hospital.
Is it possible to have a look at the outbuilding without doing too much of an impression on the policemen's?
Um, yeah, I mean they're not. I mean they're not treating it like a crime scene. They're here mainly to kind of keep people away. But you can kind of like crane your neck and see what you can see, sort of thing. So
Try.
let's call that spot hidden rolls or archaeology rolls.
I
That's
cannot
most
do.
definitely gonna be spotted.
Can I try to spot traces of explosive being used?
That would fall under the spot hidden.
Okay.
Those are nice shoes.
I mean, look at those shoes.
Chris,
Yep.
I would like to try to look around for uh, any evidence of sigils and such.
Okay. That would be spot hidden as well.
Spotted? Yeah, I thought as much.
Yep.
Have you
Sorry, what
seen
are
those
people looking for again?
Just seeing what they can see around the collapsed outbuilding.
Okay, I will take part in.
please do, because the rest of us have really become
Oh,
fascinated with tubes.
I'm looking at the wrong building. I'm not here. I'm
Oh,
just
look at that.
not here.
Wrong
The,
building.
the Legends of
Leave.
Miles rolls still gone. He took the power of Salvatore.
All right. Everybody else is kind of looking around, kind of craning their eye here and there. Nobody really sees anything in particular. But Miles with an extreme success. You see that one of the people that is digging through the wreckage, one of the people that's helping to clear it out, and it looks like this was definitely like basically if you picture the study room as being in the basement of this outbuilding, and then the ceiling collapsed, so their ceiling, but also the floor of this outbuilding. And you can kind of see down into that study area. With the extreme success, two things draw your attention. One is kind of buried amongst the rubble. There is a tunnel that leads in the direction of the mosque proper. Like it looks like when the ceiling kind of collapsed, it barricaded the entrance to that tunnel. And the other thing you notice is one of the gentlemen helping to kind of clear out the rubble and the debris was one of Dr. Kafour's assistants at the museum. He is most assuredly not a policeman.
So, ladies and gentlemen, there happens to be a tunnel buried amongst this rubble. If you look right over there, that I'm pretty sure leads to the mosque itself, and that gentleman over there is very much not a policeman, because I'm 99% certain that he's an assistant of that doctor that we met at the museum.
Interesting. I think
Should we try to have a chat with them?
Dr. Kafua mentioned that he knew that they wanted something from here. So he might have a man on the field to investigate. It might be interesting to speak with him. And that tunnel you spotted, maybe we can find the other end of it from the mosque. That would allow us to go and check the rubbles. What do you think? Because right now I can't see anything. Did he say turn the wrong way around?
I don't see it either, but we can certainly check from the mosque side.
I'd say we should talk to the assistant.
Yeah. Is there any chance of us speaking with him without attracting all of the attention on us?
You can definitely kind of draw his attention.
Well, let's go on the sidebar and try to wave him toward us.
Yeah, after probably 5 or 10 minutes, he kind of sees you, makes his way over, and he speaks in like heavily accented English. You were the ones that spoke with Dr. Kafour yesterday.
Yes, officer.
What are you doing here?
Well, some of our friends are in that institution.
Oh.
We were also a bit curious as let's say our most mutual interest seems to have wanted something with this place. And we were wondering if you had any information on what happened to you.
The ceiling collapsed.
Yeah, but have you seen? Our friend here said that there were a tunnel.
Well, that is undoubtedly a point of interest for the police, I'm sure.
Are you looking for something in particular?
How well do you know Dr. Kafur?
We've met him yesterday,
I see.
and he exposed some of his special interests, and we exposed some of ours.
What would those special interests be?
Stopping a
And
cult.
When you say that, he kind of like looks around to make sure like nobody is overlooking or overhearing or within earshot. It's like, do not say such things out loud.
Well, do not ask the question.
You are you are new here. You don't understand.
I was looking for a metaphor, but my friend was faster than I could.
There was the Nazir was guarding a powerful artifact within this building.
And have you been able to see if it's still secure?
It is not.
So that was the target, probably.
Probably. The tunnel does not lead anywhere good, if my suspicions are correct.
It
What
does
would you
not
mean
connect
by?
to the rest of the mosque.
It does not. It is not from the mosque. It is from deeper.
Oh,
Deeper. Where?
And he just kind of looks down at the ground.
Okay, deeper that way.
is that something you think should be investigated?
The creature that caused it is long gone. Sunk back to the bowels of the earth from what it was called.
Oh, that kind of tunnel. I thought it was a man-made tunnel.
No.
And is that just the path he used to come up here, or would there be something down there?
Nothing that humanity is capable of dealing with.
So it's option B, sealing the place.
There's nothing here to protect any longer.
Yeah.
Should we uh try to reclaim the thing?
Oh, perhaps the and he as he's talking, he's kind of moving further and further away from like everybody.
Yeah, following.
The Nazir was keeping some of the regalia that belonged to Queen Nitocris, keeping it safe.
Oh,
Yeah, they're trying to reassemble their regalia. If I remember something we've read. The the tools of power of the gods, something like that.
The Nazir believed that the girdle was necessary to bring her back. It was kept safe here for hundreds of years. The girdle was protected to prevent her ascension.
So that means that our disrupting project must be move up the timetable.
Perhaps we had tried numerous times over the centuries to find a way to destroy the girdle to no avail, so protecting it was our only option.
Well, if we could somehow reclaim it, that should help.
Yes, absolutely yes.
You know they have stolen the mummy so far, and that girdle. Do we have any idea of where their base of operation could be?
We do not know. But I will get you guys to give me an intelligence roll.
I'm not dumb. Those are not shoes.
I should not be looking at shoes, and yet I'm still looking at shoes.
Wow. Did you want an intelligence roll for everybody?
Everybody
Or
who's
is that good?
yeah, everybody who's part of the conversation.
Okay.
I assume we move in groups because safety.
Yes, Alvin has taught you all to like stay in groups.
Yes.
Do not split the party.
Right. So Miles, actually Miles would have been the only one that was there. Eugene and Gary wouldn't have been there, but it would have been covered as part of either Alvin's notes or Evelyn's info dump. But Miles, you definitely remember when you spoke with the shopkeeper Faraz Najjar. He had mentioned that he had stolen some items to basically hand to Warren Bassart to hand off to Carlisle. One of which was a crown, but the description of the crown indicated that it matched up with the description of Natocris's crown from the I think it's People of the Stones. One of your books describes Natocris's regalia. So the crown he had stolen and was probably given to Carlisle or returned to the guy he stole it from. And the artifacts were stolen from a gentleman named Omar al-Shakti, who Faraz told you was the high priest of the Brotherhood. And he was living in fear of them ever since stealing from him and having his shop burnt down and half of his face melted.
So we do have a name. And does the book mention how much part of the regalia there is?
There's 3.
3. Right now, they probably have the girdle and possibly the crown.
Yes.
Because the crown was stolen from Omar, sold to the Carlisle expedition, but the Carlisle expedition came back here and did their thing.
Exactly.
So probably it has returned to the cult. I'll have to check that book to see exactly what's the third thing we need to look out for. And hopefully it was not buried with that mummy.
It's like, and then
Do you still... Sorry.
I should get back before anybody asks any questions.
Yes.
Thank you
Do
for
you
your
still have
time.
hope of finding anything here?
Oh, the Nazir is alive at the hospital. His sword is with him. There's nothing else of value here.
His sword.
Yes.
So Nazim is still alive and he's in on all of this?
We haven't found a body yet.
So you assume he's alive? Could he have been captured by the cult?
He could have been captured by the cult. He could have been swallowed whole by the creature.
Yes. I always forget to consider that kind of option. I'll let you back to your work. Unless anybody else has questions.
No, thank you.
Oh, no, no.
I'll let him go. Yeah, Miles, when you said you saw a tunnel, I was thinking like a man-made tunnel with bricks and stuff, not a giant worm burrowing through the ground tunnel. Sorry, my bad. My assumptions were not right. That must be something else that those cultists can summon. What do you think about us going back to Kumar, Dr. Kumar, uh, and we can see what he can muster as uh, people to perform the rite with us or help us protect us? Well, he can give us access toward books, and if he knows anything about that Homar.
Yep.
See if they haven't found a cult yet. Maybe if we can expose one of the head to them, they can give us some assistance toward reclaiming that from him. I'll also need to peruse the book which mentioned the regalia of the god, so we know what to look for the third thing. That's my plan for now. I'd still go check up on your friend before we leave the mosque.
Yeah. Things are moving quite quickly.
Yeah. But we will never be perfectly ready. We can just try to make the best with the time we have.
Right. So what are folks doing?
You all good with us going back to the museum? Well, we should check on your friend first.
Evelyn's been entirely distracted trying to look out for animals.
Yeah, we need to keep that up too. Can
That's
I
my excuse
recognize?
for failing the intelligence roll so badly.
Can I recognize that kind of action as sign of like mental trauma?
She's definitely distracted. So is Miles.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds fair.
Right.
So we'll go back to the museum. Don't hesitate if you want to take the lead. I don't want to hug the spotlight either.
No, I'm trying to get my footing in this escapade.
Whoever has the lowest luck can give me a luck roll.
My luck is conveniently 42 right now.
58.
44.
39.
Oh, Miles.
What? Am I rolling it?
Yep.
And
Uh-huh.
what's Gary's luck?
58.
His is the
Okay.
highest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm a
Oh,
gambler.
nice. Right. And are you guys checking in on Dr. Carter and
Yeah, that was
Jerome?
the plan.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Making a pit stop to see how they're going.
Right. So
Making sure they haven't been recruited in a cult while we were not looking.
so yeah, they are both
As fine as can be.
as fine as can be. They are they're kept sedated most of the time to keep them from reacting violently. I'll get. Give me listen rolls.
All of us, or
Yeah, I'll assume you guys want to physically check on them as opposed to just like take the doctor's word for it.
oh no,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, physically check on them.
You wanted which?
Listen.
Oh,
Yeah, baby.
psychopathy.
Yeah,
No.
having perceptive character is also a thing we need in the team. Like Gary is good, Miles is good, and
I'm distracted looking for animals.
I can perceive shoes, but I can listen well.
because
All right.
shoes don't have a specific cry.
So as when you're checking up on them, because yeah, Evelyn is not the sort of person who'd be like, "Oh, thanks, doc. Thanks for letting me know."
Oh yeah,
So they take you to the cells, and you can they slide the little thing open so you can look in, and both of them are sedated. But Dr. Carter seems to be kind of like rocking himself on his side, like his back is to you. Seems to be mumbling something. You're not entirely sure what the language is. And then it dawns on you that he's saying the same phrase. Seems to be the same phrase or the same cadence in different languages. Miles and Gary, you can like wait. Okay, no, that's something. Kind of like put your ear up to the little like slidey window. And both of you hear him say, "The darkness is coming. She is coming." He goes to a couple more languages, probably like German and Arabic and Egyptian and French, and then kind of like circles back around to English again. So it seems like this thing that he's saying is he's kind of running through it in all the languages he knows, but he seems to be stuck on a loop as he kind of rocks himself.
So the timetable is still moving up and up.
Well, there's the greater timetable, and specifically whatever that cult is planning here is going fast. We need to find a way to put a break on them. At least your friend don't seem to have been meddled with. Seem to still be safe.
As safe can be.
Yeah. Still suggests that eventually we move them out of the country. Get them closer to home.
Evelyn Miles, are you okay with us moving to the museum now?
Pardon? Sorry?
Are you guys okay with us moving towards the museum now?
I think that might be best.
Sure.
We'll make sure that they are cared for and bring them back home as soon as we can. So I'll usher people out. Might be hard on people who've known them longer.
So yeah, you guys hire a taxi, make your way across town to the museum. Dr. Kafora is still here. That's what the luck roll was for.
Ah, right.
Oh, excuse me, I'm preoccupied.
Yeah, there have been some developments.
It's a matter of
Some of the things your people were looking over has disappeared, if I understand well.
yes.
We came to talk to you about this and side things, as we do believe they now have two parts of the regalia.
Possibly three.
I still need to sit with amongst the stone to get a better idea of that regalia, but do you know anything about Omar?
He's a plantation owner. Grows cotton along the banks of the Nile, 5 or 6 miles outside of the city.
Apparently, some enterprising reallocation specialist, aka a thief, stole the crown from him. That was part of the regalia.
Well, there have been rumors that Mr. Al Shakti collects artifacts. That's no secret.
Well, apparently he also has within himself to conjure creatures to hunt down the people who have wronged him, and is probably at the head of one of the cults.
Oh, do you have evidence?
Just a witness. But in this world, I don't think I would be able to convince the police of anything.
Well, Mr. Al Shakti is a powerful businessman, and rumors have long circulated about him, spread by his enemies to discredit him in the eyes of the British.
Yes.
I don't think you will find the police sympathetic. And
Oh,
while
I don't assume I can get their help on anything, honestly, relating to this. But I did think you should be made aware of this situation
oh,
in case concretize into something else.
Certainly. We can certainly investigate, look into it. If he is involved, he is potentially very dangerous, and I would rather not risk the small amount of men I have.
Oh yeah, totally understand that. Um, the people you do have, do some of them are apt at defending? Should we perform a right?
They are capable.
Can they
From what
share
we
the
spoke,
burden of the said right?
When you're ready to do so, I can have perhaps a dozen men ready.
excellent. Do
Shall,
you
shall we
do you have
try
a
to?
sorry?
No, go ahead.
Did you have in mind a good place for such a ritual?
Depends on what you're trying to protect. My understanding is that it will cover an area.
Yes, and it must be done eye above in height, which is around here the only point really high ups are pyramids.
Hmm. Do you know what area you're trying to protect?
Not exactly yet. That's why I have not advised about doing the ritual just yet. We need to know where they intend to do that waken up ritual. We do have a map. Uh, Sidebar: how precise is the map of where they want to do the ritual? Like the 4 point in the world?
You know it's someplace in Egypt.
Yeah, that's what I had in mind. Like we don't have more precise that somewhere in
Yeah.
Egypt.
You know that the original stone, the one that Carlo broke, was at the top of the Red Pyramid.
Yeah. I'm not sure exactly where in Egypt they want to do the ritual, but I know where it used to be and where it used to work. Should we just keep that spot, or is that now too exposed?
Folks can give me Cthulhu Mythos rolls.
Lucky us.
Yeah.
I'm still an innocent.
Yep.
Well, Eugene could spend 3 luck if he'd like.
Oh, 3 lux. Yeah, I'm gonna spend 3 lux.
Okay.
I just saw the red number and I didn't think that I could, but yeah, it's not that far from my.
All right. So Eugene, according to from what you know after studying the, the ritual, the ritual is designed to basically block gateways. Covers an area. So if it was at the top of the Red Pyramid, logically, someplace in the area that would protect is where the gateway is.
Well, the interior of the bend pyramid sounds spooky enough from what I heard, from what I've been taught. But we know approximately the range of the sign, so we could investigate that area. But it's a few kilometers, I think.
Should we try to how can we disrupt the cult's project? Would it be by retrieving some artifact? Would it be by um I don't know. I'm trying to spitball here. I'm asking the people around if we have to do that ritual and hamper their efforts to well to end us all.
Well, from what I understand, their main goal here is to try to assemble the part of the regalia to resuscitate Nitocris or something of that nature. If we want to disturb that, we need to either make that impossible to do or stop them physically. What should we start with? Do we want to do that Eye of Light and Darkness ritual as soon as possible, or do we want to stop them first? That has been a question for us.
I think we should start it as soon as we can. As soon as we have the people gathered up that we need. Things here are taking a violent turn.
So, if our scholarly friends are thinking that the ritual should be the preferred course of action, I will follow.
Omar, do you think it's safe to do the ritual first before we try to stop them?
Depends on what your goals are.
Well, we need to do that ritual at all of the sites in which they're going to do the great ritual, and also impair them as much as possible so that they don't do something crazy. But we can still work against them once the ritual is done. But I don't know if it's gonna get their attention, if it's gonna make everything they're doing harder to do, or if they just get into a war with us. I never did the ritual of that amplitude, so I don't know what consequence there will be on them and us. You're fighting them. We want to help you fight them. But we also want to get that ritual done.
Well, we fight them primarily physically when we encounter them. Try to stop them from stealing items of import. Try to stop them from spreading their tendrils. Magic is not something that we have any knowledge of. Magic is dark and tainted, and we prefer not to be involved. But if you say that this ritual is necessary, we will assist.
And after, we will mount an operation to retrieve some of the regalia's part, so that would hamper their efforts.
Chris,
Yep.
uh, from what I've read, would the effect of the Eye of Light and Darkness have a negative effect also on the ritual to wake Nitocris?
Probably not on the ritual itself, but
But
on those who serve. Basically, weakens agents, monsters, and minions.
okay, okay, makes sense. So it might be worth it to do that ritual as soon as possible, and then um, mount or operation against them afterward, as their minion will be less powerful afterward.
That's that sounds like a plan, but we should decide early and act quick because quickly they move with with purpose at the moment.
Yes. I just worry that performing ritual take a toll on your mind, and none all of us are yet ready for such a toll.
Will we ever be?
No.
We'll be more prepared for it when in a
In
few
9 months?
days. Mhm.
In that case, we should move quickly to retrieve the regalia.
The problem is going for the regalia expose us to or behind our mind's comprehensions too, which would be problematic too.
Yeah, and so the ritual too, because they will probably try to stop us from doing the ritual.
Oh, okay. There's no good answer to that, and we cannot take a break for a week to fix that. It
I
would
mean,
help.
I'm pretty fond of my life as is, and I'm not trying to throw it off the shelf for no reasons. But I mean, dying or madness from one side or dying and madness from the other side, there's no good answer there.
Yeah. Oh, let's plan the ritual as soon as we can then. Do you have a tactically a better moment for us to do this? If I remember well, that was like half a day ritual.
It has to be started at moonrise and go all the way through until morning, basically until dawn.
For the
So we
whole
should
night.
do it, yeah,
Mhm.
while trying to get our bearings and do it during the night because there's gonna be less guards anyway, and we still have to find a proper place.
We could just do it again where it used to be. We know it is in the right range for to protect. It used to work. That's what is what I'm saying.
Well, in that case, let's try it there too. It worked for a while there.
Do you think we need to arrange anything for us to not be disturbed for a whole night on top of the Red Pyramid?
Repeat that question and answer it yourself.
I mean, do we need to bribe the police? Like, I do not. I'm from not exactly from this town. I don't know how precarious it's gonna be for us.
Professor, do you have some insight for us?
For what were you looking to do? Drive the police where? The police. It
They
depends on
all
where you're doing this at.
on the top of the Red Pyramid.
The Red Pyramids are open to the public.
But if like 20 people stay on top of the Red Pyramid to do a ritual for the whole night, will we attract attention? What I'm wondering.
Well, it's in the middle of the desert.
Yes.
If you attract attention, it will not be from the police. It is public property.
Okay. Well, we need to get everybody on board, and we need to find the blood of an innocent.
You said that it was the easy part, so I said that you will manage to do it.
Well, Omar here has found us more people than I expected we could find. I assume all of those people are aware of what we're going to fight, and as such, do not qualify as ignorant.
Or at least aware that stopping is not an option.
So nobody in the people you will help us find qualify as an innocent.
How do you define innocent? Most of my people are soldiers. They've taken lives. They've done things.
Oh, that's fine, oddly enough. Do they know anything about the types of creatures?
We've never seen creatures. We've heard of them, but we've never experienced anything.
How many of them have not read the books?
Most of them. The books are dangerous. Only a
I-
fool reads them.
I did not read them neither.
So we need someone essentially who is innocent to the ways of these creatures and their type of magic. Someone who knows nothing about them.
There are undoubtedly those amongst the people I have.
Excellent. We need their blood. Not a great deal. Not enough to harm them. Just enough, from what I can tell, to get things wet.
Just enough to fill the sigil.
Just enough to make it disturbing.
We'll do what's necessary. Just let us know when and where.
Let's say. What time is it, Chris? Is it about 2 o'clock in the afternoon?
It is.
Does the ritual specify where it has to take place?
A very high place.
Okay.
Someplace high.
Do you
I
have
was
any
thinking-
recommendations of where?
We were thinking about doing it on top of the Red Pyramid where it used to be.
Unless you can think of somewhere else safer. That's still up high.
I'm not sure how much elevation Egypt has outside of the pyramids.
I mean, there's elevation inside Cairo, but it's not within 10 miles of where you think there might be a gate.
If we do it on the Red Pyramid, we're sure it covers the gate. Because it used to be there and was covering it.
It's a pity
why
we
they
can't
needed-
use.
Who
Sorry.
we can use. Go for it.
Oh, it's a pity. It's a pity we can't use a hot air balloon. I'm quite certain they're far too small.
Oh, and the problem is that the hot air balloon would need to stay there.
Well, yes, you tether it.
No, I mean
I
forever.
suppose it would need to stay. Yes, true. That's true.
I'm very fond of using buoyant contraption for plants, but I think that investing on this to stay in the air for the next 10 years might be a bit above our means.
Yes, that does sound like quite a bit of hot air.
Do we want to try tonight, or do we go for tomorrow?
I think.
Chris, what does the phase of the moon look like right now?
Tonight is the dark of the moon.
Oh, we should definitely do it tonight.
Because it's from moonrise to the dawn. Do we actually have a moonrise tonight?
The moon still rises during the dark of the moon.
Yes. Okay. Would that work like ritualistically wise?
One way to find out.
If we don't do it tonight, they're going to cast their ritual tonight.
Well, yeah. Okay. Tonight it is.
Unfortunately.
I think I've read enough of the ritual to be able to perform. I think I need to brush up on the elder sign though before I do the ritual.
Yes, just don't perform it
For nothing?
beforehand. It will take some of the energy you're going to need later.
I'll get there a bit sooner to practice, because you need to cast it in the casting of the Eye of Light and Darkness, so we'll do it that all at the same time. We do have a bit of time before that. Would it be possible to just check on what books you have here, depending on
some
if it's
items.
gonna? Sorry.
The items
Oh yes, we two
that are
things.
in the vehicle.
We have a few items that were taken away from cult before. And we try to understand what we do have in hand. And we would like to know what books you have access to and what kind of direction they go. So we know if one of them might be helpful for the what we're gonna do. Would be able to have a consultation and have you look them over?
I can look them over the next day or two. I have other things to do right now.
Yes.
And we have an extensive collection of books.
I assume that is a narrower collection that pertain to the subject of those occult things.
We have an extensive collection, but I can't be here with you reading the books and organize my people at the same time.
Yes, understandable. We'll focus on getting that ritual done. We can leave you the things to inspect, I assume.
It'll take me a few days, assuming we survive.
Yeah, assuming. Oh, it's fine. We'll go prepare, go organize your people, and we'll meet afterward.
Certainly. And he does kind of escort you out and kind of locks the vault behind him.
Fair.
So what was those knife against the mythos thing that you were talking about?
From what Miss Collins told me, Dr. Carter made those. Sometime physical weapon don't work on those creature, but the knife should work. I'll need to find a book in which he learned that to look over that ritual, but yeah. We might want to distribute them amongst people.
I'd like one. I have no other way of defending myself.
Yeah. I think we'll need to arm ourselves for tonight. Knives and guns.
Well, I don't know how to shoot. I'll shoot myself in the shoe.
Oh, knives.
Yeah, he'll take everything, and he will actually basically kind of give you a receipt for things. Just to acknowledge that these items are yours and do not belong to the museum.
Fair.
That's on the up and up. That's nice.
We might want to keep the knives and the powder. If anything strange happened tonight, we might want to have a powder with us. The powder that makes invisible thing visible.
What now?
That's one of the things the expedition found before. They have a powder that can turn something invisible visible again. And they were once attacked by something invisible, so I suggest we carry that powder with us. And distribute the knife.
Yes, that would probably be helpful.
I'd like to take the afternoon before we start that to go muddle around with the books, so we're ready for the night. I'd like to look in the book for the elder sign, because I need that to be able to perform the other ritual, if I remember well.
Yep. Um,
And if I can find the Vorish sign in it that helps with other casting, that'd be great.
um, you won't have time to learn anything from the books, but Evelyn can teach you the Elder Sign.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
And she will.
I'll take those
Probably.
knowledge because I think if you doing a ritual can incur some sanity loss, and if you lose any sanity, you'll go into your panic attack phase.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I definitely will.
So I think I need to lead that one. If that is something I can.
Yep, there's actually no sanity cost for the Eye of Light and Darkness.
Oh, that's good.
It's a ton
It's
of
the
power.
power cost that's the problem.
Yeah, that's why we needed to be a bunch of people doing it.
Mm.
So I'll
So
learn
how many?
from Evelyn
Okay.
and get ready if I need to take over the right if something happens.
Okay.
How many people do we have to help with this?
12.
Okay.
But we might want to leave some people out so they can stop anyone coming to stop us.
Oh dear.
Maybe someone who can talk us out of trouble if somebody mundane comes.
Oh, if that gent who was pretending to be a police officer. Or that fellow who is a police officer but also works with Dr. Kafour. I'm not clear on which it is, but either way.
That would be great to have them. And apparently the blood of the innocent, someone in the group will provide that.
Oh dear.
Yep.
Do we have
Chris,
anyone trained in medicine? Just so we can draw blood in a safe way.
I know a little bit of first aid.
Okay, I'll go buy some medicine equipment just so I can draw blood in a safe way
Chris,
for him.
Yep.
Reading over the ritual,
Yep.
how active do the other participants need to be?
They have to be part of the ritual. Like
Okay.
they are chanting and taking active
Oh,
part.
okay. Gotcha. Alrighty.
Yep. The ward requires power from people chanting, not necessarily given with their knowledge.
Oh, okay.
I have a basic medical training, so I'm gonna try to find the stuff I need to make a draw some blood in a safe way.
Okay.
Big ass syringe.
I mean, considering what year we are, it might look like that.
Yeah, it absolutely would.
I might need help with the price of the material I need, though.
You guys have tons of cash.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just asking in character because I
Oh,
am
yes.
fucking poor compared to what I used to be with Dr. Carter. Like
We
Eugene
have
as the cleanest and the proper clothes that he could afford and set up, but it's clear that he's a bit destitute.
no. We'll cover the cost. Don't worry about that. We
Thank you.
have traveling money.
So aside from getting a syringe and learning a ritual in the afternoon, is anybody else doing anything in the afternoon?
I'm resting
All right.
because I'm going to be up for a very long time tonight. Evidently. But
I
I'll
think I would
guess.
also like to get.
Sorry, what was that?
Sorry.
I was going to say I'm going to get some rest too if I'm pulling guard duty tonight.
Okay.
Yes.
Get some sleep. Pack a thermos full of coffee.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I'll have Eugene, Mr. Lafayette, sort of act as my second to keep everybody chanting in time, making sure their attention doesn't wander.
I can do that.
And that way, if I fall over, you'll be right there and they'll be used to following your lead. So, shouldn't be any trouble with you stepping in,
Good.
hopefully. As long as the ritual itself doesn't object, I suppose.
I'll make it work.
I hope so. This is not the kind of thing I want to have to do. I was going to say twice, but we already have to do it twice, so I don't want to
At
have to do it
least,
twice in the same place.
yeah. So we have to do it like 4 times.
Well, I mean, if we only manage 3, it's really a matter of travel time, but 4 ideally, yes. And I'm not sure
Yes.
how well it will go.
All right.
The people chanting, you said they don't have to know what they're chanting, right?
No, they don't have to know that they're giving up part of their soul for the ritual.
Okay. But like if we got someone, say, who didn't speak the language.
That doesn't matter.
Excellent. So they don't. Okay. So as long as they're making the right noises at the right times.
Yeah, because none of you speak the language. So
Yeah. And that's kind of occurred to me as I was saying it. It's like, oh wait, we don't really speak the language either, do we?
no, none
Yep.
of you do.
Okay.
Not this
Mhm.
language.
Clad
Nope.
2, Nick 2.
Make sure you say the words right.
Yeah. No sneezing midway. No fake coughs.
All right.
My notes, it should be fine.
So
I hope the gods are not offended by me using my notes while I recite.
Hopefully. Well, I mean, as long as we have enough flashlights that we can all see the notes.
Let's grab more of those than we need.
Yeah.
So assuming moonrise is at like 7-ish, what time are you guys aiming to get to the pyramid at?
An hour beforehand?
Yeah.
Does that seem reasonable, or am I being too nervous?
No, I was gonna say more, so 1 hour seems reasonable.
Okay, good. That's reassuring.
But that's my real life me going through. Like, so if I plan to get there an hour in advance, I'm gonna have trouble on the way. So that's probably half an hour late. So if I go 2 hour, it should be fine to be an hour early.
All right. So
That's trauma right there.
So people have some nervous energy. For Miles, this is like almost like the night before a big hunt. Like that kind of like calming sensation. You know that this is what things have been leading up to. So while everybody else is pacing and studying and double checking and everything, you like check your gun, check your ammo, kick off your boots, get some sleep. Par for the course for you. When you guys head out, and the sun is starting to set. By the time by the time you're about 20 minutes or so from the pyramids, the sun is starting to set. But I will get everybody to give me spot hidden rolls.
Oh no. Damn. Nope, distracted by cats.
What's happening?
Luck roll. No, sorry,
Everyone?
not luck.
Spot hidden, right?
Spot hidden.
Sorry, my brain farted.
Yeah.
I got it on the dot.
Nice. Oh, look at you
My-
guys, all observant.
just
It's like you've
Miles
gone hunting
being way.
before or something.
So I assume you guys are taking a vehicle. I assume Evelyn is
Oh
driving.
yeah. Probably.
That was my idea.
That way Miles can hold his gun and look around very observantly.
I have one of the magic knife. I assume Miles have one too, as well as Gary.
Yeah, there's like 6 of them, so there's more than enough to.
Yeah,
Arm
Evelyn would have.
everyone. But if someone of the 12 is end up being a guard and not a ritual person, we might want to leave one with him.
True.
Or at least tell him to take the knife from the belt if things go strange.
Oh, it'll be going strange. That's almost a guarantee.
So Miles and Eugene, as you guys are headed off towards Darfur, you can see in the distance, kind of like over the sand dunes, dust trails headed towards Giza. Obviously, either a fair number of vehicles or a lot of people traveling as one to Giza, which is the other pyramids. And Darfur, where you guys are headed, is about 30-ish kilometers from Giza. So there's a fair distance.
We're going to the Red Pyramid, right?
You guys are going to the Red Pyramid, but it appears as though there is a convoy of sorts headed towards the pyramids at Giza.
Sorry, and they're, what, 20, 30 miles between them, or kilometers?
They're about 30 kilometers away. And Miles, as a skilled hunter, you're kind of used to judging distance to your prey. That would put the pyramids at Giza outside the range of the eye if you use it at the Red Pyramid. The eye has a radius of about 16 kilometers.
Okay. Lady and gentlemen, all those tire tracks appear to be heading towards Giza, and our ritual will not affect Giza if I have my geography correct.
Do you have an hunch that those tire track might be the other cultist?
That I can't say. All I can say is there's a lot of tire tracks. I mean, we can put 2 and 2 together unless there's a big tourist group going there.
Are either of you skilled at pickpocketing or particularly light of hand?
Wouldn't say I'm good, but I can manage.
I was just hoping that someone would be able to maybe sneak in, steal something that was vital to their ritual, and sneak out, but that might not
No,
be an option.
unfortunately.
Is there a...
I think we should, before everybody leave, we need to warn Homar what's happening. Maybe we need to check what's happening in Giza before we do our ritual, because if they're doing theirs over there, we need to stop it. And the ritual of the eyes won't reach there. But before his people go there, we need to go and talk with him and stop it. I might have made a false assumption by assuming that the original I was protecting it against the ritual, but the new should again. Maybe they decided to do their thing elsewhere and it won't. Or maybe it's a different ritual, the one for Nitocris. But even if it's the one for Nitocris and we can protect from the bigger one, do we really want to let them go unimpaired? Do we want to do our ritual while they do theirs and just hope for the best? And try to stop them after they did the thing they wanted to do? Because that sounds problematic. But they would
Well,
not be interrupting us if they're doing whatever the hell they want to do. But
it
that
does
will
keep
make
them busy.
but it will make the future very complicated.
And we don't know what their plan is going to do. I mean, in theory, it's going to raise this queen, but we don't really know. Do we know much about her? I don't remember us learning anything about her.
Something in the Book of Stone, but I haven't had the time to read it. But from what people said, in the piece of her regalia reside her godly power. So by giving her back her girder and her crown and whatever the third item is, she would go back to her full power. And if you call someone a god, I assume that's not good.
Probably not.
So I think reasonably we should warn Homar of what's happening, maybe divert our attention there. And if it's nothing, we can do the ritual again tomorrow. But if we do the ritual now, we might let them raise whatever they're raising. And
So
if we
you want
have,
to go to Giza to see what they're up to?
I mean, it might be crazy, but if they're doing the ritual now to raise their deity, I think we need to do something to stop it. And if it's something else, I'm gonna feel really dumb. What do you think we should do?
Oh, dear.
I'm open to any suggestion.
Maybe the... We don't know exactly when their ritual's supposed to start.
Yep. Well, we don't.
So... why don't we have the people who are going to be guarding us go there first, and then return to us? Does that seem viable? Or does that seem ridiculously dangerous?
How much time are we away from Giza?
It's like 30 kilometers, so probably 20, 30 minutes by, crossing the desert.
And is there any trail that would lead from Giza to the Red Pyramid?
Oh, yes.
Technically, we're in advance enough for us to go check on Giza and then go to the Red Pyramid and be on time. I still think we should warn Omar and his men.
Oh, definitely.
And if we go as a group, we can go to Giza as a group. And if we realize we need to act, we can act. And if not, we can beeline for the Red Pyramid, and we could make it on time.
Or we could interrupt theirs tonight and do ours tomorrow night.
Yes, if it's actually the ritual going on.
Hmm.
And if we realize it's just something else entirely that is not cult related, we can just try to beeline for the Red Pyramid.
And if we make it there on time, we'll start it. And if we don't, then we won't. And we'll wait until tomorrow night.
Yes.
All right.
We just need to go catch Omar before they all leave.
Just a small change of plans.
But if they're
Yeah.
trying to raise because it's the new moon, it might be
Mhm.
auspicious for the ritual too.
That's what I was thinking.
So let's go fast to Omar, explain the situation to him, and take as much of his people and us that are available, and go straight to Giza.
Is that going to give us enough time, Chris?
It depends on what you do at Giza.
Yeah. That's kind of what we're waiting to find out. But
We'll see
okay.
when we get there.
The one drawback to this idea is if something goes wrong, we have to flee and stay hidden for who knows how long while we're being hunted. That's the only thing I'm just going to say.
Yeah, the problem is if they actually do the ritual and we need to hide, it's not the right night to do ours anyway. So,
But the whole reason we might have to hide is because we're doing this. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, okay, I get it.
All right. So kind of quickly and informing Dr. Kador, and then beelining for Giza.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Evelyn, give me a driving roll.
This is why I didn't spend any luck earlier. Oh! Oh man.
So you have two options. You can push, which will be a lot of luck. Sorry, you can spend luck, which will be a lot. It'll be like 42 luck.
Yep, out of my 44.
Or you can push the roll, and if you succeed, you're fine. But if you fail the push, your vehicle breaks down, and you guys are stuck in the middle of the desert between the two pyramids.
Guys, what do you think? I don't think I can spend the 42 luck. I've only got 44. I think that would be... It's a lot of luck.
That's a lot of luck. That's the amount of luck I had at the start of the game. I don't even have that anymore because I spent 32 meters my way. You
Like
have
if it was only
48?
if it was only spending 10 luck, okay, but I'd have to spend 42.
Honestly, my mental limit is like 20. 20, it's a lot, but it's manageable. 40, damn.
Yeah. Are you guys good with walking through the desert? On a horse with no name?
It's a flip a coin because you got like almost half chance.
Almost. Almost. My drive is at 48.
Oh god, it hangs on that.
What do you think, Mark?
And if you just fail the roll, we get there late. What happens if you
No,
if we don't
if I
push? If we
Yeah.
don't push,
If you just leave it as is, you will get to Giza, but there will be no chance at all for you to get back to Dashur in time.
okay.
Okay, I prefer that option.
I was
I
gonna.
would prefer that we have to put our ritual off a night than being stuck in the desert in a vehicle that won't move. Because my dice tonight are my dice. They hate me. They feel terribly upset that I haven't been rolling actual physical dice in so long. So, yeah.
All right.
Pretty sure if I push that, we're going to get fucked over.
Perfect. You said something, Mark?
I was gonna say that if it were me, I don't care how much luck I would have left. This sounds like it's too important. I would spend it and take the chances that we slowly recoup through dice rolls between games.
Yeah, but I'm about to cast a massive ritual, and I would really rather have the luck for that.
Oh, I forgot
Wait,
about
do I
that.
have to?
Yeah.
Do I have to roll a die to cast the ritual?
Yes, you do, because you've never cast it before.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I would much rather save the luck for that.
Okay, I see your point there. I forgot about needing luck.
All right.
Because if I need 42 luck on that, at least I'll have it. Although, what will I be rolling for that roll?
Power.
Oof. Yeah, I've only got 30 power. Yeah, I'll save it.
We might want to consider me helping you with those rolls eventually.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right. So
Because your power is going to go down with the ritual.
Uh-huh. And down farther every time.
yep. And if your power hits 0 from the ritual, you disintegrate.
Yep. Yep, that's not good.
The good
I'm
news
not
is
going to be able.
you can get
Good news?
you can get power back. All you need to do is like use evil spells on other sorcerers.
I'm not going to lie, it was really tempting to send a creature of some kind over to their pyramid. But
Okay, so as you guys arrive at Giza, the sun is setting. You realize that there's no time, like regardless of what happens here at Giza, there is no time for you to get back to the Red Pyramid in time to start your ritual. And there's a number of vehicles here, and there are several people. I imagine you guys kind of stop back and kind of like crouch up over the dune sort of thing.
Yeah. Very thematic.
Yeah.
we have a big game hunter with us. I'm pretty sure he'd shoot us himself if we didn't.
But yes, there are a number of people, and they're not going into the pyramids. But it looks like near the kind of the main pyramid, there is what looks like a hatch, for lack of a better term. They seem to be going into some sort of tunnel underneath. And I will once again get people to give me spot hidden rolls.
Sorry, where do we see the hat?
Kind of like at the at like the base of one of the pyramids. The pyramid of Cheops, I think. No, sorry, actually.
Great.
Yep.
was going to say, great, this is turning into law. Hey, as long as it was regular difficulty, a couple of us did it.
So yes, there is. It seems to be like there's almost like a secret passageway near one of the tunnels, and Miles and Evelyn and Eugene. You can see that there are tracks, but no actual people near basically near the Sphinx.
There are like two groups.
There's not two groups. There's just one group that seemed to be going through this secret tunnel near the pyramid, but there are tracks, but no people near the Sphinx. Fresh tracks,
Okay.
As though
That's
there
why.
were two groups.
Yeah.
as though there were multiple entrances.
Yeah. Okay. I wonder if how many doses of that floof powder do we have?
I think it was 6.
Okay. Well, what do we think is happening, fellows?
I think they're doing some kind of ritual underneath, and it seems to be two entrances to the same place. I think. But this one is crowded and there's lots of people, and the one at the base of the Sphinx seems to be less crowded. So maybe if we approach it by the Sphinx, we can get in without being noticed.
Maybe. Maybe they made themselves invisible somehow, and that's where they're actually casting the ritual. And the people who are underneath are a distraction? What do you think, Miles? Does that seem like a huntery thing to do?
I'm not sure how many how many animal groups send out some to be a distraction for others, but it's certainly a possibility, I suppose.
As a distraction, would the larger group be the distraction to keep us away from the
Yes.
smaller one?
Mhm.
Yes, because presumably they don't need the larger group to do whatever ritual they have in mind.
So maybe we should investigate the smaller one then.
I think so.
That would probably be prudent.
And if we get to the Sphinx and find out where the tracks are going, and it happens to lead into the same group of people, then wonderful. And if it doesn't, then hopefully we'll have found something worth tracking.
And if anything, of all the ritual I've read about, they take a long time to perform. So if we
Usually,
take
yes.
the wrong option, we should still have time to interrupt whatever is happening there. Whatever's
Right.
happening there, we really want all of them to get in before we try to sneak up. Because if there's a bunch of them at the door, we won't sneak in.
And I have a thought about that. What if we toss a few lit torches in? And then park our Jeep on top of the hatch.
The hatch of the...
That leads
you
into
mean-
wherever the majority of them went.
I think we can still be more discreet than that, because if we just announce else like that, they'll find a way to get out. Don't think it's going to be a permanent solution. I think our best bet is still trying to be discreet for now.
Might be a permanent solution for some of them. But yes, all right. It does seem a bit harsh. But then I
I
think
say we
about
tried. Sorry.
everything they've done, and I feel a little sympathetic.
Um, lots of them are beyond redemption. Some of them just don't know better. If we fight to keep humanity alive, I don't think those are things we should worry about for now. Give quarter if one asks for it.
I greatly doubt if they're fanatical enough to be doing this that anyone is going to ask for quarter.
Exactly my point. The fanatical one would never. If one asks for quarter, it's not one of those. I have large doubt that it would happen. Anyone asking for mercy. But if it happens, it's just someone who was dragged into this. But don't expect it.
Let's see what we find at the Sphinx.
Let's go. Miles, I'll let you guide us there.
Okay.
So, kind of following this relatively recent trail to the Sphinx, you do find basically leads to like an ancient-looking stone slab that looks like it has been recently moved.
Gentlemen, this is your show, not mine.
That's a big enough slab for it to probably have a mechanism. Let's look for it.
There is no mechanism.
How possible is it to move it?
Let's see. Double check people's strength.
Eugene is a pretty big guy.
Yeah, between Eugene and Miles and Gary, there's no difficulty at all in moving this. Even Evelyn's pretty buff with the 55 strength.
It's all in certain limbs.
But yeah,
She
you
needs
guys.
to push with her legs.
Yeah, it's to make up for the lame leg.
So yes, it's hefty, but the three of you can move it aside. And beyond it is like a fairly steep incline that leads down into the earth.
Steps?
There are not steps.
It's just a pit.
It's an incline going down into the earth.
Oh, okay. Kind of a step.
A ramp.
Hey, I just wrongly used English. Ask stupid question, get the answer you deserve.
Hardly.
Okay. Uh, let's keep the light low and let's go try to see.
So as you guys start to make your way down down this tunnel, and it goes for a ways straight down. You figure you're probably 200 feet underground. And it kind of catches up with a very obviously man-made tunnel. Definitely made from hewn stone. The floor is generally level. Tunnel's about 8 feet wide, about 8 feet wide. And there is this occasional glow from this kind of livid purple and green fungus along the walls. Periodically, there are like small tunnels and things that lead off of this main branch. None of them that are big enough for any of you to fit down. And as you kind of like continue on, your torches, flashlights leading the way, kind of playing along the walls, kind of along the tunnel are these like just horrifying images of men with the heads of animals and animals with human limbs and unidentifiable like things performing like obscene activities. I'm gonna need everybody to give me a sanity roll.
Oh no! I knew animals were bad. They are.
I don't trust the cat.
Ooh! Holy
Quarter
cow,
of
Miles! Yeah, not so much. Oh, missed it by 5.
Uh-oh.
Can't spend luck on sanity, can ya?
No, you cannot.
No, you cannot.
Wait, does that mean your already temporary insanity gets worse?
Yep. I think I just had a bout of Chris taking over my character.
Right. So, Gary and Evelyn, both of you lose a point of sanity.
Yep.
Oh. Right, so Evelyn, knowing that the Dark Brotherhood is everywhere, knowing what the Dark Pharaoh has done to you, and these your friends here, have lured you here under the pyramid, deep under the earth, where there's obviously a dark ritual going on, probably to sacrifice you. What is Evelyn armed with?
I imagine. Well, Evelyn has one of the knives, and knowing that we were her cane, and knowing that we were coming down here, she probably has the knife strapped to her hip and is carrying a gun.
So I think as we leave today's session, Evelyn, they're obviously, I mean, they planned
They
this.
led me under a giant cat.
They led you under a giant cat.
You have a
To a
point there.
tunnel with murals of things that are half animal, half person. Obviously, they're out to get me.
Obviously, and as the flashlight kind of plays over these scenes on the walls, Gary, who's been fairly steady up to this point, gets a little tremble. And then in the flickering flashlight, you guys all see Evelyn draw her gun on you guys. But we'll call it there for this week.
I thought you said drop at first, not draw.
Nope.
So I was confused. I was like, why would she drop her gun? Oh, no, wait. I'm going to turn around and point it at everybody. Never mind.
Yep. But we'll pick this up next week.
Yep. I'll just apologize now. If I shoot any of you. But hey, my dice are in your favor. So
My
Maybe
dice
next week
tonight
they won't be.
sucked.
my dice never like me. The only time my dice like me are during Forbidden Lands.
Question
And it's
here
not
is
my dice don't like me, my dice like Desi.
the question here is do your dice hate you more than they hate us? Because that's
Probably.
still in question. That's still in question.
No, I'm pretty sure they hate me more than they hate you guys.
Well, we will find out next week. But
Yeah.
everybody can roll for luck recovery.
Nope.
Why can't you roll for luck recovery?
I can. I just did not recover any.
Oh, yeah. That's what you meant. Damn.
Let's see. No. See? Told you. My dice are not friends of mine.
It's a good thing that wasn't an attack roll though, because that would be a critical.
It's a good thing that I didn't spend 42 luck earlier tonight.
If you
Well, if you did, you would have gained some.
yeah, you would have regained some if you did.
Oh, yeah, I suppose that's true.
The maths are not nice still.
All right. So we will pick this up next week, and we'll see what happens.
Who gets shot by Evelyn?
Who
Who
indeed?
shot JR?
That's
That
why I
will
wanted us
remind
to take a break.
That would remind me of my bar mitzvah.
Yeah. The story of Gary's bar mitzvah will slowly come out.
Who knew that
Legendary.
13-year-old boys could be so hellacious?
Bar Mitzvah is going to suddenly get more epic than like the first Hangover movie.
See,
Right?
I was
Like,
thinking
it
that
just
too.
It just keeps getting more and more dangerous, wild,
Perfect. All right.
terrifying.
Have a nice one, guys.
Have a nice night. We'll see everybody
Night,
next
guys.
week, and we'll see some of you tomorrow for Forbidden Lands.
Yep, where
Take care,
hopefully my
everybody.
dice will like me better.
Have a good evening.